Hello, sir. Nice to meet you. I'm going to go through a series of questions for a group of people, you being one of them. And I'd like to get to know your personal story.
Yeah, whatever. I'm only doing this so I can get out of the damn house. I can't think straight in this cramped up apartment of a mine.
What did you do for an occupation?
Well, I did have a damn job, and now I got fired from the place because some old rich feller had to subsidize his company and lay off some workers. Now I've been looking for a job about a month now, and there's no opportunity for someone like me to get more than a satisfying job nowadays.
Yes, that's interesting. The job market can be tough in this area. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up.
Well, I was born and raised in this damn city, and I struggled through living life just like my parents did in this city.
What influences did you have while growing up, and how do you think they affected you?
Well, I got a high school diploma after 5 years, but wasn't able to afford any colleges because my parents never had any money. But that didn't matter because my parents always told me that education wasn't all that important anyway. Me and my friends and I would all skip school and play in the arcade and get cheeseburgers and all the shenanigans. They taught me to always do what you want and have fun.
One last question. Do you think your life would have been different if you grew up somewhere else?
Oh, absolutely. If we lived anywhere besides this dump, we'd have a much better attitude towards life and never have to suffer with such a poverty-stricken city.
Hello. Tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're from. We're doing an interview on people from different backgrounds.
My name is Reed F. Harrison, and I grew up in Reynolds, North Dakota. Reynolds is a nice small town filled with nice views, good people, and a wide open sky. I feel like I have endless opportunities while I'm there and that the environment around me affects how I get things done. I came here to New York in an attempt to expand my growing business.
Is there anything about where you grew up that you think shaped you as a person?
I definitely believe so. I associate my success with the ability to have an open mind and a schedule planning my next moves. These traits all originate from the open country that I grew up in and became shaped by the environment that I grew up in.
What have you done for work in the past?
While in Reynolds, I worked on a small farm that allowed me to gain structure and opportunity to achieve great things later in my life. Right when I turned 18, the opportunity arose for me to serve my country in the first Gulf War. After the war, I returned to Reynolds, and shortly after I went to college at Stanford University and majored in business.
What impact did the war have on your life?
It was here that I learned to be disciplined and realized the lack of opportunities that other countries suffer through. This experience made me much more humble and gave me greater life values I could use later in life. It was also here that I lost my childhood friend in my arms. His name was Jebediah Jeb Johnson. He worked on the farm with me as a kid. We talked of starting a business in New York City. Once I got back, I named the business after him. It was Jebasoft.
Okay, one last question. Are you happy with your life so far?
I would say so. I grew up always looking at the positives in life, so even after losing my best friend, I was able to move on and continue building my business. I just got engaged with my amazing fiancée, and everything is looking great.
Hello. How are you, Donovan?
That's Mr. Wellington to you.
Okay. Sorry, Mr. Wellington. First question. Where did you initially grow up?
Well, I was born and raised in Long Island, New York. I grew up among countless millionaires and CEOs.
Tell me a little bit about the area there.
Well, my father was the CEO of a major stock industry, so he was never around. My mother was out too, always shopping or drinking, so the housemaids basically raised me. Along with the other kids, we had a pretty easy life. Whenever we wanted something, we were able to get it. Our lives were already basically decided, which was nice. I picked up business techniques from other men when they were around. That and attending the most prestigious schools in the country really helped my success in expanding my father's company.
Interesting. So after growing up in a higher privilege area, what did you do for school?
I attended Harvard Business School. My father knows all the professors and the administration there. As a matter of fact, The dean of students is our neighbor. So that, along with the fact that my father donating to the school and my attending one of the top high schools in the nation, I was easily admitted.
Right. So your privileged neighborhood allowed you to achieve what you wanted. How else did it pave the way for your success?
I met many of my business partners there. Our friendships helped expand our business. I was able to learn things that I would not have learned anywhere else. I've never even seen a crime committed in my neighborhood. So I've been all safe all my life.
Interesting. Well, that's all the questions I need answered. Have a nice day. Can you please put the gun down? Welcome. First things first, this interview will not be used for the FBI, CIA, or NSA in any way. Better be. Okay. Tell me a little bit about where you grew up.
Well, I grew up in this dump, Camden, New Jersey. My neighbors were both crackheads, and my family was robbed 7 times when I was a boy. My dad left us when I was little because he couldn't handle the city, and my mother was murdered right before my eyes. Many people would break under this suffering, but I saw it as an opportunity to get rich. I quickly joined a gang and rose through the ranks until I was the leader. Because nobody gave me and my family any mercy, I didn't give it to anyone who crossed me. That's where I got my nickname. My gang is the most notorious in Camden, and we're still rising.
And how has leading a gang from Camden influenced your life?
What kind of question is that? It's taught me to never take crap from anyone, because if you do, you'll be taken advantage of for the rest of your life. It's better to take advantage of others, thrive off their misery so none comes to you.
That's an interesting perspective on life. Do you think you would still be a gang leader if you didn't live in Camden?
One more silly question like that and you getting capped. Of course I wouldn't. If I lived in a rich neighborhood, I'd be in the NBA. But since I had to provide for my mom before she died and my brothers after, I had no time to work on my game, and I could never go to school. But this job ain't so bad. I get enough money for my family to live easy. No one harms them if they know what's good for them.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
You know what? I never liked you anyway.